Welcome to Recap Our Studio.
The title of the film is Mechanic. Arthur Bishop lives on his yacht in a tourist location near the sea. He gets up in the morning, has his coffee, listens to music, then gets off of the boat and detonates a bomb in the boat. This is just in case someone tries to steal the boat. Then he gets on his motorbike and rides to a restaurant where everyone knows him. Bishop is given a unique dining location with a view of the sea by the waiter. Then a female with Asian characteristics approaches him and says she has been seeking for him for a long time. She informs him that her supervisor has asked him to murder 3 individuals and that he should kill them as though they died naturally. And she assures him that this is not a tough task for him since he is an expert in his field. She informs him that if he does not comply, she will report him since he is sought by many groups and that he is still alive because he faked his death and moved away from everything. Bishop realizes that there are others with this girl, and they are gazing at him with threatening expressions, so he asks her to make a phone call, and as he pulls out his phone, he snaps a photo of the girl. When she attempts to pull out the pistol, he stops her and strikes her. The people with the girl then attack Bishop, but he hits them with amazing dexterity. Bishop then spots goons approaching him on security cameras. Bishop leaps from the restaurant's wall and lands on the cable car. The female is followed by a group of guys who board the cable car and threaten the passengers. They were looking for Bishop, but he was above them. The girl shoots him and attempts to board him, but Bishop leaps off and lands the tourists on a toy aircraft. When Bishop returns to the boat at night, he observes it from a distance and discovers the presence of 2 persons aboard the boat, who search it without hesitation. Bishop pulls out his phone and detonates a bomb on the boat. Then he goes to a location with enormous containers, opens one of them, and burns his passport and some personal information. The Bishop then travels to Thailand and encounters a female he knows, who runs a tourist hotel on the island and brings him to a room he used to dwell in. Bishop finds a hidden door in the room and pulls out a bag containing phones, firearms, and passports before searching for the girl he photographed at the restaurant. He knows something about her and a man called Crane. He is the guy for whom this girl works. When Gina enters the motel and meets the proprietor, she requests for first help. Gina's hand has bruises from the beating, which the hotel owner observes. Gina is approached by the hotel owner, who asks whether she needs any more assistance. But Gina tells her she just needs a first aid kit and then goes out at night on a boat near the hotel. The owner of the hotel, whom Bishop knows, spots a girl on the boat and that someone is hitting her. She goes to Bishop and requests that he assist this girl. Then Bishop arrives at the boat and urges the guy to leave the girl alone and not attack her, but the man refuses and tries to raise the pistol on Bishop, but Bishop punches him and kills him. Then he returns to the hotel and informs the owner that he has done the duty and requests that she transport Gina to the hotel. When Bishop investigates the boat, he discovers her passport and phone, as well as his image on the phone. Then he blows up the boat and returns to the hotel, where he questions Gina about why his photo is on her phone. He inquired as to whether she worked for Crane. She informs him that Crane has something to threaten her with and that everything that has occurred is a conspiracy to capture Bishop. The intention was to get to know him. After meeting him, she would dial the number on her phone, and her task would be completed. Bishop is aware that Gina runs a home for children who have been victims of human trafficking, and Crane has threatened to murder the children if she does not comply with his demands. Bishop spots a boat approaching the island in the water with men on board, and these guys maintain watch on the island. Bishop requests that Gina behave as though she is befriending him. And this is exactly what occurred. Gina then apologizes to him for setting her up and tells him that she had no option since the children were everything to her. Because he was an orphan, the Bishop likes her approach. He informs her that he and Crane were both purchased by a mobster and that he managed to escape, but Crane did not. So they punished him because they believed he was the cause of his escape. Crane despised Bishop for this reason. Bishop then plans to flee with Gina. As a keepsake, he offers her a watch and asks her to keep it until they meet again. The next day, Crane's guys arrive and kidnap Gina. Crane is summoned by the Bishop and asked to meet man to man. When Bishop sees Crane, he requests him to free Gina. Crane informs Bishop that he would free her if he murders 3 people. Bishop receives a file containing personal information from Crane. The first individual was an African weapons dealer imprisoned in a maximum security jail that was tough to access. Crane then hands Bishop a GPS capsule and instructs him to ingest it after completing his assignment so that they can locate him. Bishop begs Crane for proof that Gina is still alive, and Crane responds that after every surgery he conducts, he will be allowed to contact her. He informs him that they will notify him her whereabouts after he has completed his last job. Then, in Malaysia, Bishop goes through the material regarding the first person's jail. The jail was located in the midst of the sea, which was teeming with sharks. The jail was encircled by 100-meter-high cliffs. This indicates that the work is arduous and that entering jail is almost impossible. Bishop checks the details of numerous undesired individuals before selecting one of them, who has a distinguishing tattoo on his face. So Bishop forges his identification in the name of this individual, and then he buys some of the supplies he'll need to complete the task. On the second day, he goes along the street, and he is arrested and sent to jail. Bishop recalls Crane telling him that if people had not died by accident, he would not have come by boat to rescue him. Bishop observes that the armaments dealer is accompanied by personnel who defend him. Bishop approaches a prisoner and inquires about the guns dealer. The prisoner informs him that this individual is known as Krill, and that he murdered Liberia's president. He informed him that several individuals attempted to murder him while he was in jail. When a prisoner attempts to murder Krill, Bishop defends him. Krill expresses gratitude to Bishop and asks him to supper. When Bishop encounters him, he murders him. Food poisoning was found to be the cause of Krill's death. Bishop then smashes open the jail wall and paints his body with a chemical that repels sharks. He then eats his GPS capsule and plunges into the water. The captain of the boat receives word that the bishop has completed his duty, and they give him the location. Following that, Bishop speaks with Gina via video conference, and she informs him that he has 36 hours to murder the second victim or they will kill her. Bishop informs Gina that she was not murdered. Crane delivers details on the second individual, Adrian, a billionaire who works in the mining industry. But his major business is people trafficking, and he lives in Australia on the 58th story of a skyscraper, and he informs him that this person's flat is protected with a concrete wall, and all of his apartment's doors are armored and bulletproof. Every entry also features sensors and a fingerprint reader. Bishop claims to be interested in renting the apartment below this man's. Bishop makes a copy of the apartment keys and a precise sketch of the flat. Then he creates glass bombs, impersonates a maintenance worker, and enters the apartment whose keys he created. Then he exits the apartment and walks to the billionaire's residence's glass pool. Bishop detonates the glass bomb, then blows up the swimming pool where the millionaire was staying, causing him to fall and die. And, when speaking with Bishop, Gina pulls a cunning move by aiming the camera towards the number of the boat she is on. The bishop may learn the location of the boat by this method. Bishop takes helicopters to the location of the boat, penetrates it, and murders several guards before being apprehended. Crane threatens Bishop and informs him that if he attempts again, their agreement will be terminated. Crane then requests that Bishop accomplish the last task, which is to assassinate Max, a wealthy American weapons trader who purchased a monument to Bulgaria and communism. And this monument was erected on a mountain, and inside the mountain was an underwater repair basin. These submarines are also outfitted with intercontinental missiles. No one was able to enter or escape this location, and everyone who attempted perished. Max beefed up his security following the deaths of the two persons slain by Bishop. Bishop had 48 hours to finish the exam. Bishop discovers that Max has requested a medical helicopter. Bishop can hide under the aircraft, and when he arrives, he places a gadget that jams security cameras. When the guards attempted to transport Max to the building's secure room, he defeated them. Bishop detonates a bomb in the elevator. When Max reaches the secure chamber, he is met by the bishop. Bishop agrees with Max that he would appear to be dead and deceive the train in order for them to discover Max's corpse. Crane must dispatch his troops to look for it. As a result, Crane will be alone in the boat, making it easier to murder him. Max's death was definitely staged, and an explosion happens at the headquarters where Max is housed. When Max falls into the basin, Bishop is waiting for him with an oxygen bottle, and they then travel out on an island and beg Bishop calls Crane to free Gina, but the Crane refuses and demands to see Max's corpse. Bishop tells Crane that the corpse is in his submarine, which is docked. Crane directs his troops to the submarine dock to ensure Max's death. Bishop was preparing the area for the arrival of Crane's workers by planting explosives around, and when the Crane's men arrived, Bishop killed them. Crane monitors what is going on through security cameras. Bishop boards Crane's boat and slaughters all of the guards. Gina is shot, and the self-detonation aboard the boat is set off by the Crane. Bishop locates Gina and puts her in a survival pod that separates from the boat before it explodes. Bishop gets into a confrontation with the Crane. The boat explodes when Bishop binds the crane with a chain. Gina has been rescued, and Max and his crew have been watching the boat wreck being recovered from the water. Then we observe Gina with the kids, and she is astonished that Bishop is in front of her, and while Max is monitoring the security cameras, he finds that Bishop was hiding in the steel chamber, which is located on any boat in case of an emergency. The film concludes here. Thank you for your time.